design is all about creating an immersive and enjoyable user experience. But what if there was a way to take it one step further? Storytelling can be the secret ingredient that takes a UI design from great to amazing. UI design and storytelling may seem like two completely different disciplines. However, they actually have quite a lot in common. Both UI design and storytelling often involve creating convincing worlds and compelling characters. And just as good UI design must take into account the user experience, good storytelling must take into account the audience's needs and expectations. In fact, incorporating elements of storytelling can actually make UI design more effective. By using techniques such as conflict and resolution, UI designers can create designs that are not only more aesthetically pleasing, but also more user-friendly. Storytelling can be used to create an emotional connection with the user, making them more likely to remember information or complete a task. UI designers can use storytelling to design with purpose and create a unique narrative journey for the user. Storytelling can be used to create a unique brand identity as well. It helps you to humanize a company or a product and lets people understand and connect with the company's product or services. Take Apple for instance. The reason people love its website is that it always takes you on a beautiful and enjoyable journey. And they make this journey even more memorable by making it interactive. They use stories to bring their products to life. There are several ways to use storytelling in UI design, including using stories to explain features and functions, creating narratives around users' experiences, and designing story-based interactions. Web design is one of the most effective places UI designers can apply storytelling. Through visual elements like images, graphics, words, and color, UI designers can create an interactive experience that engages users and presents content in an interesting way. To level up UI design with storytelling, here are some tips. Number 1. Start with research. Understand your users' needs and pain points so that you can craft stories tailored to them. For instance, if you're designing a website for kids, research their interests, needs, and expectations, and then try to come up with a good story. Number 2, make sure your story is consistent. UI design should flow from one page to the next and lead the user on a journey through your design. Make this journey as enjoyable as possible by adding meaningful interactions and animations to your design. Number 3, create a memorable user experience. Take the time to craft UI elements that evoke an emotional response and keep users engaged with your story. Now let's analyze a website in terms of storytelling and see how you can apply these techniques to your projects too. The website I chose is Wigload for Webflow. Wigload is a tool that helps UI designers create multilingual websites. Its user interface has a unique and welcoming design with storytelling at its core. So let's start scrolling down to see what it has to say. So here, in the hero section, we have a clear value proposition. Imagine a multilingual Webflow site without coding. So here is where the story starts, with a goal. The goal of creating multilingual websites without coding. So it's basically the beginning of the user journey. Now let's scroll down and see what happens next. Alright, did you see that? The browser we had in the first section has been transformed into this globe of the planet Earth. And here on the left side, we see Webflow broke the code barrier on a global scale. So as you can see here, they created a meaningful visual story that complements the text they put on the left side. Let's continue scrolling now. Alright, see what we have here. We have a conflict. It says, click to break the language barrier. It's so smart. So you can tell good stories by using good microcopies. Let's click on it and see what happens. Okay, it's not broken yet. We are close. There we go. No language barrier anymore. You see, when you interact with this website, you're totally in control and it feels so good. So let's continue scrolling down. Here it asks you a question. If you are shopping online, what would you buy? And look what we have here on the right side. What would you pick? Obviously, if you don't know any of these languages, you should pick something randomly. But I picked this one, the watch. Okay, it says you and 72% of consumers prefer to buy in their native language. So they present the data in an engaging way here. Alright, what do we have here? There is another question. Want to reach a wider audience? Go multilingual. Let's say your website was in German. Add languages. And on the left side, we see it says 2.1% of the internet users can read it. Now I'm going to add a few languages and see what happens next. You see, it's like you are the narrator of this story. What next? Here the story continues and it says, if creating a multilingual Webflow website was as easy as pie, and you'll see this smooth animation directing us to the next part of this story. Alright, so here we have a strong value proposition again. Wignote makes your website speak any language. And here we have a few benefits. Simple to integrate, easy to use, good for SEO, multiple translation options, and finally, integrated with your design. Next, we have this orbital spin animation here that complements the accompanying text, right? The web today is global. The web today is connected, and we see all these circles appear to indicate this connection. The web today is complex. You see extra shapes have been added, and finally it says, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Making your Webflow site multilingual is easy with Wignote. Are you ready to go multilingual? And here you see a few of the Webflow elements they created. And finally, the story ends here. It was quite an adventure, wasn't it? So here are a few things we can learn from this story. Number 1. Your story should be easy to understand, so you shouldn't make things complicated. Number 2. It should also let the user be in control by making it interactive. And last but not least, it should be memorable to create an emotional connection with the user. I hope now you truly understand the power of storytelling in UI design. If you're like me and you always look for design inspiration on Dribbble, make sure to check out this video on the screen where I tell you why you should stop using it. And as always, if you found this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more design content like this. Have a beautiful day and see you next time.